you also wrote an article, 3 things to know about the Steelers. Number 1, never sleep on Alex Highsmith or TJ Watt at any time, 2 of the defensive linemen. Number 2, don't expect the offense to be a star. And number 3, the Steelers' best rusher right now is not Najee Harris. So take us through those.
Well, let's start with number 1. That's, Alex Highsmith and TJ Watt are obviously the cornerstones of that Steelers defense. And the reason I say you can't sleep on them anytime, look back at week 2. I mean, they each had touchdowns. Alex Highsmith had the pick 6, on that first drive of the game. And that really, kind of set the tone for a weird night. And then TJ Watt, returned that fumble for a touchdown. That was the game winner. And we've seen time and time again, these guys have an ability any single time they step on the field, any single rep, to just completely wreck an offense. And so whoever's blocking the Browns on the edges, not just the tackles, we're talking, tight ends they have to bring in there, running backs that are going to have to help out on the perimeter. You got to know where these guys are at every single moment, and you really cannot let up for 1 second, because you feel like against this team, the second you let up against those 2 guys, they can burn you. They can absolutely make you pay. And you got to make sure you avoid giving them an opportunity to make those high leverage splash plays, that everybody talks about, those sack fumbles in the fourth quarter, those big sacks that really push you into 3rd and long. Those are things you just simply have to avoid at all costs. Going to number 2, don't expect the offense to be a star. We kind of talked about it a little bit. They've been outgained in every single game this season. They haven't gained 400 yards in a game this entire season. They are coming off their 2nd and 3rd best offensive yardage games of the season. Like I said, 326 against the Titans, 324 against the Packers. So this is a team that, it's not one that's going to, win track meets, but obviously, because the Browns don't have Deshaun Watson, it kind of takes away their ability to potentially try to make this track meet. So this could be a situation where placing the Steelers' advantage that this might be a lower scoring game. And then number 3, we think back to 2021 when the draft was in Cleveland. Pittsburgh took Najee Harris, the Alabama running back, in the first round. They expected him to be the guy. But they've got an undrafted guy in Jaylen Warren. I know you were talking about him earlier. I think right now he's their best running back. And when you look at what Jaylen Warren has done in the last 2 games, 26 carries, 189 yards. On Sunday against the Packers, 15 carries for 101 yards and a touchdown. He's 5'8", 215, so he's small, but he's pretty compact. And, he's kind of a bowling ball, I guess, of a running back. He's just a tough guy to bring down, and he's got some physicality. When you look back at week 2, the Browns were able to really corral the Steelers' run game. 55 yards. If you can contain the Steelers' run game and force Kenny Pickett to beat you, that's, I think, the best way you got to do it. And you got to hope you could force him into a turnover, too, which is just something he hasn't done in a while. But if you let the Steelers run on you, then you're kind of playing into their hands with how they want to play the game.